Young Living has prepared an income disclosure statement designed to convey truthfully, timely, and comprehensive information about the income that its brand partners have earned. The income disclosure is a tool that assists our members to understand the income opportunity. This is a reflection of the work, the time, and the energy that it takes. And, of course, the opinions expressed on this presentation are solely my own and do not express the views or opinions of Young Living. Young Living does not endorse, is not responsible for, and makes no representations or warranties regarding such content or its accuracy. So I encourage you to verify the explanations and opinions I present. Young Living should not be liable for any harm resulting from or in connection with reliance of any such content. When we look at the income disclosure statement, it might be challenging sometimes to see where you feel you belong on it. Take a look at that for a second. To see what fits, what feels comfortable or right. And sometimes that's because our view is clouded. And it can be clouded by paradigms, fear, doubt, worry, and uncertainty. So if that's you, then I'm here today to make sure that you learn how to shift that thinking so that you can prepare the path to earning an income and achieving your goals with Young Living. And for some of you, you may take one look at that chart and it feels like home. You may look at that chart and know exactly where you belong and where you're going. So if that's you, well, then I'm here today to make sure that you learn the skills to stay aligned with that vision and make your goal a reality. So the first step to earning an income with Young Living is to know what you want to earn. And not just a ballpark or a range that would someday be nice to maybe possibly achieve in God's timing. I'm talking about knowing precisely the amount that you desire to earn. And you will never, ever know what you desire to earn until you know what you desire to do with it. Not what you think you might like to do with it someday, but rather precisely what you desire to create, how you desire to live, and more importantly, how that feels. There's no such thing as something for nothing. So decide what you intend to give and what you intend to do with the good that you desire. One of the most powerful things that I ever learned about earning income is that money is a reward for service given. And to whom much is given, much will be required. You see, money is a tool. And as with any tool, it needs a purpose. Best stated, money needs appropriation. You can't just want it because you want it. It has to have a use factor. It can't just come to you because you're amazing and awesome and you love people and you love the products and you love what you're doing. It's a tool. It has to have a use. Otherwise, it's just going to remain sitting on the sidelines waiting for you. So once you can see yourself in the good that you desire, you can start to see very clearly the path required to get there. You see, the people that I have seen fail or fall short of the goal or give up altogether or jump from one thing to the next because they think the moment they reach difficulty, this isn't working. They never formulated a plan while knowing where they wanted to go. They didn't know where they wanted to go. They didn't know what it fully looked like. And they did not take a moment to think about what that life would feel like. They lacked a vision and a purpose. So what do you want? What do you really want on a deep emotional level? What do you desire? How many of you have actually taken time to consciously think about that and then subconsciously feel that life as a reality? You see, you can place yourself at any level on the income disclosure statement, but where do you see yourself? Those are two different things. Where do you want to see yourself? Is the answer to both of those questions the same? It should be. If it isn't, then you're holding yourself back from your truth. And what we need to do today is find that truth. How many of you, and you don't have to answer this out loud if you don't feel comfortable, but how many of you have felt like you've been suppressing what it is you truly want? Maybe you're afraid to say it out loud. Maybe you're afraid to even admit it to yourself. And oh my gosh, heaven forbid if anyone else should hear what it is that you want. So you suppress it a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And all of a sudden, you don't know who you are anymore. And then you don't know what you want anymore. And the path becomes incredibly clouded. So if you place yourself on that income disclosure statement somewhere other than where you truly desire to be, then you will not be able to map out your path and realize your goal. You need to be in harmony with where you desire to be. You need to feel it like it's your reality. If you truly, in your heart, feel that Royal Crown diamond is where you desire to be, but you hold even a single ounce of hesitation because you think you're not good enough or you're not qualified enough for silver, or you're only qualified enough for silver, then you're only going to be suppressing your gifts, your talents, and your highest potential. And when you do this, you create a tremendous amount of disharmony within yourself. And you end up forcing things and feeling exhausted and frustrated and unmotivated. So many of you are going to leave convention feeling ready. You're going to walk out the doors today. You're going to feel amazed. You're going to go be able, Gary used to say this, you could leave convention and go sell anything you want to the telephone pole. But you get home and something changes. I want to make sure that when you leave here, you will go be able to sell anything you want to the telephone pole, but when you get home, you'll be able to talk to electricity. Because you will still be so energized and amped up from the messages you hear at convention. And the only way that's going to happen is if you change some things when you get home. Change what you're listening to, change the things that are causing the doubt in your life, and be honest with yourself. You see, while you're here, you need to make sure that you are picturing yourself exactly into the good that you desire. And then pay attention to anything that starts to pull you from that so you can remain right in that good that you desire. So be honest with yourself about what you want and direct your day towards that vision. And you'll find yourself in this place of beautiful flow. So step one to earning an income in Young Living is to establish the goal. And you have to make sure that it's crystal clear. If I told you today where I will be in this company 5 years from now, you would be able to taste it because I would explain it with such clarity and detail, just like that. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Can you do that? And I didn't say, give me the plan to get there. I just said the goal. Because at this point, just set the goal. Be clear and be honest with what you want. You're dealing with infinite. You have the entire kingdom backing you. There's nothing too big that you could ask for. So once you lock into what it is that you truly desire, the plan will start to unfold naturally once a clear goal is established and in place. And you may start to wonder if you actually have what it takes to reach this new goal, and I'm here to tell you, you do. Because there exists within you an untapped reservoir of talent and potential and gifts, and it's just waiting to be discovered. Oh, trust me, friends, it's there. It's within you. It's within every single person in this room. Nobody is exempt from having this reservoir. But sadly, far too many people don't even know of its existence. And worse yet is to know that it's there and then just let it be. So I'm here today to make sure that you know exactly how to tap into that reservoir within you and pull every last ounce of your gifts, your talents, and your abilities to the surface for your greatest and fullest expression of yourself. We're leaving nothing on the table. We're saving nothing for the next life. You have to understand that you can and you will. And the moment you establish a goal that is greater than your current reality and one that challenges your belief in yourself, your paradigms are going to put up a royal battle. And you may question if you actually have what it really takes. It can be emotionally challenging, and you may wonder if you can actually do this. So your second step is to remind yourself that indeed you can and you will. Remind yourself of this as often as you can, especially at the very moments that you start to doubt or question yourself, which, by the way, will be many. In fact, every time you think about your new goals, or you share them, or you reflect on them, you'll start to doubt or question some aspect of the process at some point on this journey. The more that you can remind yourself that you can and you will, the stronger you will become in your confidence. You can and you will. That's all you need to know. So banish the doubt, the noise, and the distraction around you. Just leave it behind. And once you leave it behind, you're free to create an image of who you are at the goal achieved. Tap into the feeling of being that person now. Show up as that person now. And this isn't just about rank, but this could be goals in your health, in your wellness. How many of you have wrote down your goal for where you want to be here next year? What rank do you want to show up as? What OGV do you want to be looking at when you log into your virtual office? What about your health and your wellness and your vitality goals? In 1 year from today, what story do you want to be posting on social media as your victory story? Now let me ask you something. For those of you that actually just took a moment to write that down, if you didn't, write down on the paper in front of you your income goal in Young Living. Let's just go there for a second. Just take a moment, write it down. It could be what you want to earn a year from now. It could be what you want to earn 4 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever feels right to you. Is that a life-changing number? The number you just wrote down, would that change your life? Yeah. Then why do you resist the change that's presenting itself to you every single day? Change in your confidence, change in your associations, change in your routine. Why do you resist it? We have a tendency to resist change because the paradigm puts up a royal battle. So in your actions, in your thoughts, your direction with your day, every last detail from what you eat to how you schedule your routine, every last detail must be that of who you are at the goal achieved. Because you have two options. You either have to change yourself or you have to change your goal. And I think you've probably spent far too long changing the goal to decrease it to meet your comfort. So yes, you will change. Expect it. Prepare for it. It's required. If you could achieve what it is that you desire by doing and being everything that you are today, right now, then you would have already have achieved the goal because you would already be in complete harmony with it. You don't always get your goal, but you will always get your standard in life. So if you set your standards to be a match with your goal, that's when you achieve both. The standard is the goal. Most people think that they can achieve the goal without changing a single thing in their life. But you have exactly what you have in your life right now because this is the standard you have set. The balance you have in your bank account, that's the standard you have set. What is the date today? Is it the 15th? 14th? July 11th was my 13th anniversary of making the decision to make Young Living a career in my life, 13 years ago. Can I tell you a quick little story about that day? Okay. So pause the teleprompter for a second. Okay. I was sitting on my back porch. We have a farm. I don't know how many of you know that. We were sitting on 20 acres at the time. We had a couple chickens, we had, a couple cows, just did by no means a Pinterest farm. This was still a real farm. And I was doing daycare at the time because I wanted to be home with my kids. Paige was 5. Tyler was 3. And Theo was 1. And I was 1 year into doing daycare because that was my plan of how I was going to be home with my kids. How many of you have done daycare? There's a special, special place for us. I had just paid the bills that morning, and I was watching the kids run through the backyard. I had $7.41 left in our bank account, and I still had bills to pay, and I had never been late on a bill in my entire life. And I just remember looking at my kids thinking, I'm breaking the ultimate promise that I ever could have made, and that was that I will always be home. I knew I had to do something. And I thought for a minute, what am I going to do? Because I can't tell my husband that I grossly miscalculated my ability to be home and raise our humans we just created. So I've got to figure this out. But I figured I didn't have a lot of time because $7.41 wasn't going to buy me a lot of time here. I thought, well, I know how to make wedding cakes. I could make wedding cakes. I could get more kids for daycare. I was doing all the things, and nothing felt right. So I picked up the phone and I called my sponsor in Young Living. I said, do you think I can do what you do? And she got kind of quiet. And she said, well, how much do you want to make? I said, I don't know. I've got probably $500 a month, like right away would be really, that'd be handy. Could avoid some difficult conversations this week if that could happen. And she's like, okay, well, where do you think you want to be in a year from now? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I just needed, a couple bucks now. Maybe in a year from now, if I could be earning $1,000 a month, that would be handy. And then she said, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this like that Price is Right? Like I just keep naming numbers. Like, are we playing high-low? And I thought, well, I don't know, $2,000 a month? She was a diamond in the company at the time, and I didn't know what any of that meant. There was no income disclosure statement. I thought the most you could make was maybe $5,000 a month, and that is the I have arrived number. I knew nothing. And she got real quiet on the phone and she said, I think we can, maybe, yeah, I think we could do something. I thought, oh God, Melissa, you really overshot it with that $500. We only know what we know, right? There was no Facebook, there was no social media. People weren't talking about these things. How was I to know? 13 years ago, I had $7.41 in my banking account. My gosh, what one decision can make in your life. And yet you continue to sit on it and wait. Why? You resist changing yourself. But it could be one of the most beautiful things you ever do for yourself. And you're just waiting on it and waiting on it. So most people think that they can achieve the goal without changing a single thing in their life. You have exactly what you have in your life right now because that is the standard that you set. At that moment in my life, I had exactly what I had because that was the standard I accepted. And it was the standard that I tolerated. I thought, I live in a town of 76 people. How could I possibly make a go of this? I had to change my views. I had to change my perspective. And I had to ultimately make the decision that I didn't like where I was at emotionally, physically. And I loved my town and my little farm, but I wasn't happy. I was grateful, but I wasn't happy. I was settling. So if you don't like where you are at, you have to increase your standards. And then by default, you start to get closer and closer to the goal. So the options are to change who you are or change what you want. Increase your standards or be okay with decreasing or suppressing your desires. If you don't believe me, how long have you been chasing your goal? How many times have you said, this is the year, this is when I'm going to do it? Or how many times have you decreased the goal, thinking that you weren't enough of whatever it is you had in your mind that you thought was needed to achieve it? Because in that moment, you remained the same, and you changed the goal to meet where you are now. Once you maintain your energy at the level of the highest goal you truly desire, your truth will start to attract differently. That day when I contacted my sponsor and told her that I wanted to learn how to grow a business in Young Living, and do you think I could do this too? It was maybe 5 minutes into the conversation and I was no longer thinking about money. I was thinking about how many people could I show how to make their laundry detergent, make a surface cleaner, make soaps, the same way my grandma taught me. How many moms out there could I reach out to and attract to me that are looking for the something better? And all of a sudden, I started to think about the movement that could start to create in my own community, in my own town, and how far that reach could go. And it fueled me with a passion that there are hardly no words for. Because within you is a core of energy, your essence, your being, that je ne sais quoi that makes people want to be in your presence. But you have to think about your passion and you have to think about why you want to do this. And this is the beginning of how you form your leadership circle, your team, your community. It's one of the most beautiful processes that will unfold for you. So enjoy it. And don't let the process be lost on you. It's a process of refinement. This is truly where the fun begins to unfold as you start to attract the people who are going to join you on this journey. So think about what characteristics you desire in your leaders and in your team. And then make sure that you hold those qualities as well. You are the only one responsible for your success, but this isn't something you can do alone. You need a team. Don't worry if you feel like you don't have the people right now. In fact, it's actually the norm that you would not yet have the people with you, but they will show up. So the first steps start with you, and then once you make this process look attractive, you will attract the people that are needed. This entire process of creating your goals and locking into your desired vision and truly becoming the person now is how you start to find your truth. The truth of who you are, what your passions are, what your gifts and talents are. And not only finding them, but expressing them. This is how you start to truly design your life so you can stop living it by default. This is how you find your truth. This is how you create a movement and help to transform lives. Once you tap into this vision and you see more of yourself and you start to honor your passion, you're obligated to share this with others so that you can help them step into this new level of awareness. When you do this, it's like unlocking a new level of earth. I love this poem by Bill Gove. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me that you think I should be, and not the me that he thinks, she thinks, they think I should be. But if I want to be free, I've got to be me. So I better know who me is. When I first heard these words, it really hit me at a core level and woke me up. I was becoming who I thought everyone else wanted me to be. And the more I did this, the more I forgot who I was, and I started to lose myself. And the goal became farther and farther away, and the doubt became stronger than ever. How many of you can relate to that? Told to me one day, you just can't see it anymore. Becoming who we want to be in life isn't something that most of us really know how to do, and it certainly isn't taught in schools. It isn't discussed among the average peer group. However, it is something that everyone can learn. You just have to shut off the outside chatter. There will be noise and distraction all around you. It's the opinions of others, the fear of others, the resistance from others. I can't tell you how many times I'd ask someone, hey, I'm gonna build a business in Young Living. Do you wanna build a business with me? And they'd say no. And then I'd ask another person, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna teach classes. I'm gonna show people how to do all the things. Do you wanna do this with me? And they'd say no. I started to feel like the little red hen. Do you remember that story? Yeah. Think about it for a minute. Do you want to teach classes with me? Do you want to build a business with me? And everyone said no. So I guess I have to do it myself. But once I started winning and once I started helping people, and I think that once they started to see how beautiful of a process that was, then they asked to help and be a part of it. It's okay if you get the resistance from others. It's gonna happen. Expect it, prepare for it. Your friends, your family, those closest to you are not going to understand this path or this direction that you've chosen. And so through absolutely innocent attempts of which they just don't know better, they're gonna cast their opinions, their doubts, their fears of this journey onto you. And all they're doing is projecting their fears and their limitations onto you. But you don't need to accept it. That's theirs, not yours. The moment that you start to feel the slightest resistance or even the slightest whisper around you, just go back to step one. Create that goal. Make it a future memory. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Think about what your life will be like at the goal achieved and make it so clear that you create a future memory. And then all you have to do is go remember the future. Remember the goal that you desire and the visions you created of the goal achieved. You can't achieve the goal if you're consumed with holding yourself back. and suppressing this new energy and vision of yours in an attempt to make the people around you comfortable. The point is to disrupt the atmosphere around you. Make some change happen. If you knew who you really are and what you are really capable of accomplishing, you would no longer worry about the opinions and judgments of others, and you certainly would not doubt how you are going to get from where you are today from where you desire to be. Truth is, you wouldn't worry about anything at all. And shutting out the noise and the distraction around you would actually be a quite simple act, but you have to control that noise and distraction around you. And you do this by choosing what you allow into your emotions. Remember, you can reject any thought that forms, but once you become emotionally involved in it, even the thoughts you don't desire, everything starts to move into motion for that to become your reality. So now that you know what you want and how to stay aligned with that vision, you might start to see the path to get there a little more clearer. And when that happens, this is when it's time to start mapping out your plan. It's important that you understand the basic foundation of how our compensation plan works so that you can fully maximize and leverage that plan to meet your income goals. Be sure to take a bit of time with this. Sit down with a few people in your team and learn it together. Everyone's income goals and time to attain the goal will always be different. In fact, the plan to get there will also be unique to each individual, so allow space to get creative with how this will look for each person. If you're going to map out a plan after you learn how you are getting paid, if you don't have someone in your team yet to sit down with Crossline. If you feel you don't have Crossline to sit down with, remember this: it is okay to start alone. Some of the most successful people in the world have started alone. In fact, you would be quite reassured if you actually knew just how many top leaders in this very company started alone. I am one of them. It's more important that you start than it is to start with a group. I attracted the group quite quickly. But you are the one that needs to start the momentum. The more you share your success and lifestyle transformation, the more people will want to join you on this journey. Trust me, they will want what you have because of how uniquely attractive you make it look. So once you have that basic compensation plan foundation down, you can put pen to paper and start to map out a plan that is in alignment with your unique goals. And I do just want to share one piece of advice, if I may. I personally do not include bonuses as part of the income goal because bonus, just like a holiday bonus at a conventional job, come and go, and they're not always a guarantee. So bonuses are not really part of a longevity compensation calculation. They're just, as the word states, a bonus, something awarded for a job gone above and beyond. So I always keep a long game focus. And in this case, that would be the overall group volume, or the OGV. I always looked at the bonus like a little extra something. But that long game vision, that's what built a solid foundation and kept me aligned with the bigger picture of Royal Crown Diamond. So let's do some quick math. Step 5, math. I don't like math, so I saved it for the last. I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer this plan so you can see precisely how to reach the initial phase of the income goal. I like to break down the achievements into phases. So phase 1 would be your first 6 months. And not just your first 6 months of enrollment, but that first 6 months of you deciding you want to build a business. I joined Young Living in 1998. So it took me a hot minute to decide to actually do something with the opportunity I was sitting on. So phase 1 is your first 6 months of deciding you want to build a business. Phase 2, this is your journey to a strong foundation. And phase 3 is your plan of welcome to Diamond Club. Your initial game plan is simple. Just get in front of as many people as you possibly can. Share, make connections. Phase 1 kind of just becomes your pace setter. This will help you understand the types of classes to offer and the frequency at which you can offer them. And when you realize it's only a 6-month period of time, it offers a sense of assurance that this is not your new normal and the hustle is temporary. We need to stop being afraid of the word hustle. Remember, if you spend a bit of time doing what most people won't do, you will live a life like most people never will. Yeah, one person loved that. That's great. You're my person. It really comes down to your first 30 days that will set the tone for the remainder of your phase one. So you know you're earning for 50% of the enrollment PV or any additional PV purchases during their first month. And if they get a premium bundle, that would be a $25 bonus. So for simple math, let's just say your member enrolled with a premium starter bundle and no additional products, your commission would be $75. So if your first month goal is $500, enroll 7 people. And if you hosted 3 introductory oil classes that month and invited 5 non-Young Living members to each one, you should easily be able to enroll 2 to 3 at each class with ease. So months 2 and 3, just rinse and repeat. Then, during months 1, 2, and 3, keep your focus on hosting 3 introductory oil classes each month. Give them a fun name, pick a theme, and create an experience. Serve tacos and call it Talk About It. In your event write-up, talk about how much you love transforming your home and invite them to your Everyday Living with Everyday Oils class. Share on social media how essential oils have been such an incredible new addition to your life and invite them to your essential experience. Whatever you choose, just have fun with it. Create a community and enjoy the movement that's unfolding. These introductory classes should ideally be based off of one of the premium enrollment kits or one of the new start kits. Keep it simple. Don't worry about the science or being an expert. All you need to do is share what you love and how you're using the products. Stop making it complicated. I promise all your friends and family are expecting from you is to share with them what you're doing. Your goal is to enroll 7 people each month, so that at the end of the 3rd month, now you have 21 members in your team. One pro tip I have for you, try to have your classes completed by the 20th of the month so that if you need to host just 1 more to reach your goal, then you have plenty of time for a month-end pop-up class. Or if you've already achieved the goal, host 1 more and see how much further you can get. This pro tip works really well at any rank, including Diamond, so just keep that one in your back pocket. And then change things up a bit. Host 1 introductory to oils class each month, but this time encourage your new members to bring a guest. This is where you will discover your new leaders and start growing some legs. I do a I teach, we teach, you teach approach. And so when I do the big home experience where I'm encouraging my team to bring it, I'm telling them that I'm gonna teach it, I'm gonna host it, I'm gonna do the prep work. All they have to do is bring people. And then in addition to that one big experience event, host a make and take where you can show your new members how to create everyday products from everyday essential oils. This turns your oils into 30-day consumables. How many of you have had oils for 15, 20 years and it's the same bottle? Teach how to make things and your oils will become 30-day consumables, room sprays, foaming hand soaps, perfumes. And at your 3rd event each month, you can make it a dual focused. Do an expanded product knowledge like Raindrop or skincare or something else that you love, and then offer a little business opportunity during the 2nd half. Have fun with these. Get creative. Share what you love. So months 4, 5, and 6 become pretty simple to navigate. You need to stay aligned with these goals that you've set. This phase 1 focus will have you on a strong start. Be consistent in the things that you're doing. These navigations through the ranks of platinum and into diamond, these phases will be ever-changing as you learn new skills and have new experiences and opportunities of growth present themselves. So much will change in your life during this time. Prepare for it, expect it. But growth is an amazing and beautiful journey. It comes with lessons that will challenge you in so many ways. Just be patient with yourself through this, but show up every day and be consistent. Embrace this process. Remember to stay aligned with your goals and the reason why you chose to start this journey. Go beyond the money and go into the grand purpose and the reason why you are here in the first place. to inspire growth and change lives. Diamond is a life like no other. It truly is. And now when I sit on the back porch, it's not just our 20 acres anymore, because we bought the neighbor's farm. It's not daycare kids running through my backyard anymore. It's my kids running their dirt bikes through the backyard. There's not $7.41 anymore. I expanded it quite a bit. And I've been able to do so many amazing things with it. My husband has been able to do so many amazing things. And it all goes back to that one day on July 11th, 2010, when I saw so much more for our life. I saw so much more potential. Diamond's a life like no other. I can't wait for you to experience it. I'll see you at the Diamond table because you belong here.